Your elected lawmakers have summer homework.
Making sure citizens of the state have the opportunity.
I'm Ben Winslow on Utah's Capitol Hill. Now, I know it seems like the legislative session just ended, but lawmakers are already getting to work on bills for next year. Here's what they're working on.
It's been brutal.
Juan Bravo owns some vape shops in Utah, but the legislature's ban on the sale of flavored vapes, he says, is killing his industry.
It's 90% of our revenues, and right now businesses are closing up shop.
The ban is designed to prevent youth access. A bill to undo it but impose strict new regulations failed to pass the legislature this year. Now lawmakers are gearing up to take another look at it by holding hearings this summer and fall.
I mean, it gives me hope, sure. Absolutely. But what about these other businesses that have huge commitments?
Legislative leadership has a long list of study items for interim sessions. That list, shared with Fox 13 News, includes tourism in rural Utah and incentives to keep people coming, as well as Olympic preparations, affordable housing policies, the cost to build schools, energy policies, including the state's entry into nuclear power, voter ID and voter registration policies. There's some unusual ones, like whether a physician should have the right to refuse treatment to someone, using AI in criminal investigations, and even ticket scalping and resale policies.
We need to continue to build across the state to make sure that we meet the growing state so that we're not stuck in traffic.
Great Salt Lake dust mitigation is a topic. It's a departure from the Utah legislature's push to get more water into the lake.
That's really the number one thing to address dust, but that'll take time. So in the meantime, if there are hot spots for dust, figuring out what information we know, what do we not know, and then how do we mitigate.
Federal spending cuts will also be a top priority, but Utah's political leaders have different views on that.
Well, we're even saying, look, to DOJ, we'll help you. Reduce it by 10, 20%, whatever the number is, cut the bureaucracy out of it. These are monies that are Utah taxpayer dollars that are being sent to Washington, D.C., that we would just like to keep here in Utah.
It's when it's a very targeted cut to specific populations that may disproportionately impact very low-income working poor families, younger families with younger kids. I mean, if it's impacting healthcare to the most vulnerable populations, that's where we need to make sure we are ready to understand that this is also an impact on our workforce.
I posted the list for you to see at fox13now.com. The interim session is actually a really good time if you're interested in getting involved. They hold hearings, they take testimony. What they can't do is actually vote to pass a bill. That only happens during a general session or a special session. On the Hill, Ben Winslow, Fox 13 News, Utah.